We are with you in the heart of India, in the state of Maharashtra. The place is called Ajanta. We call it Ajanta, but in the local language it is Ajanta. And this is really, I would say, the esoteric center of the earth, in the sense that an ancient temple has been miraculously preserved here, which began to be carved 200 years before the beginning of the new era. And the last monk left here in the 600th approximate year of our era. This place was a monastic university. If you want to see behind me, you will see this half-arc along which this temple was built. This is a geofault. There is a river below that traces this geofault. And water itself already plays a huge role. But several very important factors have come together here. And the geology of the earth, and the material from which the wall is made, in which then they began to remove unnecessary rock, thus creating cameras tuned to the human chakras. This is a volcanic rock, which, like a vest in the literal sense, alternates with quartz veins. And that's all in the aggregate, plus the prayer, which, in my opinion, they never stopped performing here during the day. When the monks carved out these rooms, removing unnecessary rock from the rock, they sang mantras. As a result, this temple began to have an amazing effect. It removes unnecessary, sick energies from the human body. The effect was also accompanied by the transfer of information. Here, in this complex, there are basically two types of premises. This is a meditation room and a room where they lived, where they gathered and discussed some religious aspects. Although speaking of Ajanta, the word religious does not quite fit, because there is obviously the deepest knowledge of the structure of the universe, mechanisms that humanity does not even suspect. And my greatest and deepest interest is precisely in finding this building and this knowledge, and transforming it into images and language understandable to a modern person, to return it so that each of you who sees this video will get acquainted with this amazing place and come here. Because it definitely gives a person a very important energy, spiritual energy. It stimulates a person's spiritual craving for knowledge. The same temple, as you probably have already felt and noticed, also performs healing functions. It extracts unnecessary energies from a person, and immediately these energies are transformed. There are no such temples in the world. Therefore, for my part, I am happy that I can tell you about this temple, introduce you to this temple, and open for you the world of this amazing religious trend, which we call Hindu Buddhism. But this branch of this knowledge, it came from the Pacific Ocean, from the very continent of Mu, which disappeared from the face of the earth 2,500 years before Atlantis. But the knowledge that was transmitted to a very high level of civilization has been preserved. And the center where this knowledge exists in an energetic form to this day. This is this place of Ajanta. And those who understand and know how it works can come here and touch this source. Rain. This is a blessed time of year, especially for temple architecture. In India, in Cambodia. When the temple was built, at any time, in any millennia, they tried to build it closer to the water tank. But these temples are especially effective in the summer, when it rains, monsoon rains. Water, it allows you to transform energy into a range that is very well perceived by the human body. Therefore, when the temple was built, this factor was taken into account. And when a person comes to this place during the rainy season, the effect of the temple is the deepest.
I was going specifically on an expedition. I forbade myself to expect anything, to think, to read about it. I was going on an adventure.
I had some kind of simple call of the soul.
I went with specific goals.
It was an inner kind of zeal.
The strongest place of power.
Intuition told me straight, go, you need to go there.
The thought that I have to get there, I definitely have to get there. There was an expectation of a miracle. I've never been to places of power, and when I heard about the place of power, I decided for myself that I should definitely go, and I hoped that this position would allow me to feel more about Ajanta.
I thought that some miracles were happening here, and I was not mistaken.
Absolutely. This place is connected in some way with many of us. I think in the world there is no such place. So, of course, I had.
Of course, this place requires knowledge and understanding of how to interact with these energies. Therefore, we decided to create a group, and generally create groups of people who will come here with us together. I will tell you how to interact energetically with this complex. He has certain conditions associated not only with the cycle, the annual energy cycle, but also with the biological cycle of each person. And taking into account these factors, you can get a huge benefit. In general, welcome.